Welcome to this latest, I was going to call it a webinar, but it's a bit more informal than that this evening. We're going to talk through a program together and get into some details of a new program that we've launched publicly for the second time, the Conservation Professional Development Program. And we're really looking forward and excited to be talking it through with you here this evening. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Thanks for keeping your mics off and your cameras off as well. We appreciate that. Yeah. As people join as well, we'll continue to remind people to do that. We're going to leave lots of time for questions at the end, just for context. And we are recording this too, just so you know. So we'll share it with people who aren't here but still want to know what's going on. All right. That is the kind of housekeeping out of the way. Welcome, everyone. So we know your time is valuable, and we're really delighted to have you with us here today. So my name is Nick Askew. I'm the founder director of Conservation Careers. And by way of background, so I've been working in conservation as a professional conservationist now for, I think it's 27 years, something like that. And I studied for a PhD on barn conservation behaviour back in the day. Since then, very briefly, I've worked as a consultant ecologist, a communications manager and a fundraiser also for a large charity, BirdLife International, before setting up Conservation Careers 12 years ago in order to help people like you to have career success and to help the world wildlife to thrive. Okay. Over the past few years, I've also become an accredited international coaching federation accredited coach as well. And we talk quite a little bit about coaching tonight, so it's kind of useful to know that background as well. And speaking of coaching, joining me here this evening also is my partner in crime and our head of programs, Kristi Foster. Hey, Kristi, you there?
Hi, Nick. I'm here. I'm excited to be here. Yeah. Just saying it's been a while since we've run a live
Yeah.
event like this. And this is the first time I guess we've sort of come together to talk about this program. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm really pleased to be kind of sharing it in more detail with people. Okay, I've got I've got an AI transcription person in here, so I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna remove you. Sorry. Just in case in case it kind of disturbs us this evening. Okay, great. Okay, so briefly, just agenda. We're going to run through the program, okay, the professional development program, so you kind of walk away really understanding what it is and how it can help and support you, where it came from, okay, and what the details are of the program. And then, as I've already said, we're going to leave plenty of time for questions at the end, okay? So sit back, enjoy us kind of talking it through, okay, and then we'll answer any questions you've got at the end. There's lots of time for that. Right, okay. So why are we here? Okay. Well, the Conservation Professional Development Program, it's here to support you to learn, okay, to grow and to thrive. I mean, conservation it's one of the most rewarding careers, I think, in the world. Okay. Now we're not here to kind of sell it or glorify it as this perfect place for everyone, but it can be a real place where you can find happiness and impact. But alongside that, it can also be really tough. And I think careers which are very much passion led and impact led, okay, it can often be quite hard as well. You can feel like you have unclear career direction. It can lead to burnout quite easily when the kind of boundaries of your work and life can blur into one and you throw all your time and your effort because you're so passionate about the work that you do. And also in a sector that's quite dominated by charities, it can feel sometimes under-supported just because of under-resourcing as well. Okay, so it's quite easy to kind of feel like things perhaps aren't going as well as they might when you're sort of early to mid, even to late career as well. So tackling things like well-being, tackling things like impact, like career direction and clarity about where you're going as well, particularly for perhaps feeling a little bit stuck or uncertain, can be really important. And organizations tell us all the time that some of their biggest challenges, are around this, well-being of staff, impact day to day and across the week and across the career, okay, and clarity of direction can really feel like challenges for staff, leading staff feeling perhaps being a little bit stuck or struggling to make the impact they want. So we're here to talk about, it's a proven program. It's something we've been running now for 4 years, bubbling away in the kind of lab at Conservation Careers, if you like. Something which we started with the UK Wildlife Trust here, a network in the UK of 52 different independent trusts, all working together as part of a federation. And we started to roll out more publicly. And we're really excited to be kind of rolling that out more publicly for professionals like you. Okay, so really the program is here to kind of tackle some of these issues really head on so that you can thrive and find the impact and the purpose and the clarity and the happiness that we all want to have within our careers and to help the wildlife that we all care about. So before we kind of get really into the kind of details of the program. I just want to just give you a little bit of an overview as to, who is Conservation Careers, where are we coming from, and how do we work? Because really it's been folded in, it's the DNA of the program and how we work. So I've already touched on it a couple of
Okay.
times. We're 12 years old, okay, and Conservation Careers, our mission is to help conservationists like you to achieve career success, okay? And success can be really personal, okay, and it's different for everyone. So for one person, success might be having impact or seeing and feeling the impact. For another one, success might be actually having a really good work-life balance and enjoying your career. For another person, success might be financial reward, actually, and having enough money to do everything that you want to do in the world, and 100 other things. Okay, so whatever success means to you, we're here to help you to kind of work towards that and to achieve that. Our vision is a world where wildlife thrives. This is why we're here on the planet, okay? And we reach a global audience every year. We reach over 1 million people now and growing. And we support people the world over. I know I'm a Brit in the UK. I'm about an hour from Cambridge in the south of the UK, but we really do reach, 235 countries and territories globally each year. So we're international in our reach and the support that we provide. And actually, that's a good place. I'd love to hear where you guys are from on the call. So if you want to jump to the chat and tell me where you are, that would be lovely just to kind of see the diversity and the breadth of where you are like right now. So I'm in Oundle in Northamptonshire in the UK. Kristi, you're in Vancouver, Canada right now. Okay, but where are you guys on the call? Drop into the chat. I'd love to kind of see where you are. That'd be lovely. So, as you're dropping in, so I was just looking, you've got two Canadians there, Kristi, fellow Canadians. We've got Laura in London, Julie in North Wales. Welcome. We've got Dana in Virginia. We've got Cape Town, South Africa, Claire. Somebody else from London as well, West Sussex and Kent. Okay, sort of showing the sort of breadth of places that, yeah, we're sort of supporting. And nice to see you all on the call. That's great. Okay, so let's just talk briefly about core values then about us. Again, it's really woven into who we are and what we do at Conservation Careers. And it's sort of like it's like our character, if you like. It's like our personality. So we work according to these, and our programs are created around these values, which guide who we are and what we do. So when we interact, we put our health and our well-being first. Okay, we prioritize the wellness of conservation professionals in all we do, in ourselves, each other, in our course leaders, our tutors, our members, our course participants, and everything. We aim to be warm, compassionate, and honest. It's really important. And when we make decisions, we focus on sustainability. Yeah, so we serve our audience first. We're here to help, and we embrace being bold and being adapted. We're not afraid of failure. We're more excited by what success could look like too. Okay, it doesn't hold us back. And then finally, and this is really important, when we work, we try and keep things really simple. Yeah, we focus on priorities, the few priorities, and we know what they are. Okay, and we aim to learn, to play, and to grow. Okay, and these values aren't just words, but they're foundations of how we support you and how we work with others as well. So it just gives you a little bit of an idea as to working with others, how working with us would be like. Okay.
Yeah. I think like having been part of a few different organizations in the conservation space and sustainable development space, sometimes you see these values, but you don't really feel them in your day to day. And I think at Conservation Careers, like it's very much embedded in the way we are.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a product of, working quite closely together. But, you've been there, Nick, to support me through all sorts of things in the course of my career. And we try and do the same for anyone that comes to work with us or that we work with through coaching.
Mm.
So those values, they really do, yeah, they really are the core of who we are and what we believe in.
Yeah. Yeah. And it helps us to work effectively with others. When you know who you are and how you work, you can attract the right people, work with the right
Yeah.
people, and know when it's not a good fit too. Yeah.
All
So,
right.
Kristi,
So
yeah.
maybe before I talk about why professional development matters, just to give some really brief context about me, I ended up here working as a conservation career coach through sort of three different pathways, you could say. So one was having a career in conservation internationally. So for about 8, 10 years, I worked across Latin America and Africa, the UK, Australia, and then online in conservation, sustainable development, ecotourism, got my master's in conservation biology. But for the past 6 years now, I've been supporting people through conservation careers. So I've kind of taken my very squiggly career and very diverse experience in conservation and now support other people to navigate their paths, kind of design their careers. And like Nick, I trained as a coach through a professional coaching and leadership program. So for the past 3 years now, I've had the joy and honor of sort of coaching conservationists from all
Mm,
different parts of the world at all different stages of their careers to, yeah, design their careers, unlock their potential.
mm,
That's just a bit about me as background. Um, and professional development, I think sometimes I at least used to think of professional development as like skills training. This was like continuing education or upskilling, which it can be, but it is actually a lot more than that. So it matters because I think, like Nick said earlier, conservation can be so rewarding and it can be so challenging.
mm,
Um, we work in a sector where sometimes we come up against low pay, we have competition for jobs, we can have workloads that never end, because conservation work never ends. So a lot of conservation professionals end up feeling quite isolated and quite uncertain about their future. Um, and we know that conservationists need clarity, they need to feel confident, and they need connection. So these are kind of like three elements that are essential, and they're missing in most people's careers. And that shows up, when you feel stuck, when you feel maybe like an imposter, when your work doesn't feel meaningful or fulfilling anymore. So we know when we don't have these things, things don't work well. But when you have them, your career can flourish.
mm.
So really having the right kind of support can transform your career. And we've had people come into this program, with very low confidence, feeling really like energetically drained by what they're doing and the way they're doing it, feeling unsure about what was possible for them in conservation, and then leaving with, renewed energy, self-belief, confidence, purpose, direction. So yeah, I think professional development is a lot more than just skills. It's
Yeah,
tools for career and life.
yeah. I love that. Yeah, tools for career and life. And actually, what's interesting in terms of how we've developed a conservation careers, we started out helping people who are aspirational conservationists. So, early career job seekers, students, career switchers, of which we still help a lot to secure the first job. The goal for them is almost universal. It's about securing that job, understanding what the job is, getting the right skills and experiences, putting in really good applications, interviews, and then securing the job, and then moving through their career from there on in. And so it's quite easy to kind of target support and training to learn how to do that process. But for mid-career conservation professionals, what we've learned over the last 4 or 5 years really is that your challenges and goals are many and varied. So we needed to create a program, which we'll talk about in a sec, which has that flexibility around it. So you bring your goal and need, whatever that might be, whether it's confidence or career clarity or a challenging relationship or whatever it might be. And then through that, we can actually tailor the program to your particular needs. And that's really the kind of the root of what this is all about.
Yeah. So we use in this program four different approaches to help you level up. And by level up, like, we're not talking necessarily about the next rung on the career ladder, so to speak, though it could be. But really, it's how you're looking to grow and evolve in your own career. So one approach is impact, something that's really important to us at Conservation Careers, which is focusing on what matters to you, what's important to you, where you want to make an impact, and being able to achieve more, um, without burning out. And in fact, while you're thriving yourself. Another is, like Nick's mentioned, clarity. So defining where it is that you want to go, being clear about what it is that you want, what you stand for, and also who you want to be as
Mm.
a conservationist, who you want to become, apart from just your job title or the skills you use, what you do, but who you want to be and how you want to do it. Um, Confidence, definitely. We hear a lot about imposter syndrome, and I think most of us have been there in our careers, feeling that way. So this is sort of about building like the self-assurance, the confidence, the self-belief to take on challenges, um, push yourself outside of your comfort zone and step up, and grow. And last but not least, connection. So we know that this is, especially when we get into our mid careers, this is missing for most people.
Mm.
And so this is about expanding your network of peers. So you're not alone in your career journey, but you're supported by other like-minded people who also want to grow. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess, oh, sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was just going to say that's been so important, I think, in the last 5 years, really, hasn't it? We've all become more remote, more disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that connection is really important, particularly within like a safe space. We'll talk in a minute about group coaching and how a cohort comes together and works together. Yeah, and that network of honest, open, yeah, sharing and supporting is so vital for the thriving of our careers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think it really links to well-being too.
yeah.
Sometimes we think of well-being as a solo pursuit, and sometimes it is, kind of restructuring our priorities, but it's also a lot to do with like who we're surrounded with and getting supported by.
Mm, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the origins, and then we're going to get right into the details of the program as well. Just so you understand where this comes from. So back in 2021, so just really at the back end of the pandemic, we were all still wearing masks around that time, but it was still starting to kind of calm down and normalize again. We were invited by a wildlife trust, actually very local to where I'm based right now. It's the Leicestershire and Rutland Wildlife Trust, one of this federation of wildlife trusts we have here in the UK, 52 different independent wildlife charities working in each of the different counties. Okay, but working together as part of an umbrella organisation. They invited us to come up and to create a program for their staff to help tackle morale, motivation, and well-being. Okay, so we created a program with them, and from that was then escalated up, if you like, to the Royal Society of Wildlife Trust, the federation, the umbrella level, okay, for us then to run a pilot program the next year with staff from across Devon, Herefordshire, Nottinghamshire, Staffordshire, Cumbria, and Wales. Okay, so what can we do to create a program that's going to really tackle staff motivation and well-being? That went really well. We then ran it again as a first cohort, a public cohort last year, and then this is the second cohort we're talking about this year. We've also done a similar pilot, just for context, for the RSPB, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, also here in the UK, which is one of the biggest conservation charities in the world. We have 1 million plus members and 5,000 staff, something like that. So we've really started to kind of understand it, pilot it, and then start to kind of roll it out more generally. Okay. So what does it look like? What is it? Okay, so the professional development program, it's a 6 month kind of coaching journey, okay, to help your well-being impact and career direction at work, or whatever your goal is bringing into this. It's a structured, flexible journey, which is going to help you to kind of take charge of your careers. It might be tackling your confidence, clarity, or whatever it might be, okay? And what we do is provide support to all staff types within the conservation sector. So it's not just frontline conservation staff. You're not just kind of field-based conservation staff as you might kind of classically think as a conservationist. It's anyone whose work impacts or supports wildlife conservation. That means office-based staff as well, for sure. It means support staff. It might mean admin staff as well. You might be in finance and legal as well, working for conservation. We want you to thrive in your career if you're seeking and working towards helping wildlife at some level. Okay, then the program is right for you. It's self-paced. Okay, it's coach supported. Okay, and it's peer enabled. Absolutely. So you're part of a community. It's built around kind of three main pillars. Okay, so what are they? So across 6 months, in about an hour a week, give or take, that's roughly about the commitment to the program. It's designed to sort of fit within a lunch hour. We know we're all busy people. We have busy lives and busy work as well. So we can't have too big a commitment. It's like, what can we do within an hour a week that really makes a huge difference to you? Okay, we do three things. One is you work through what we call the Career Accelerator, okay, which is a self-paced professional development online course training. And I'll show you what that is in the very next slide, okay? The second aspect to the course, and really important to the impacts and the outcomes for you individually, is all around coaching. Okay, so you gain access to one-to-one and group coaching, okay, across the 6 months of the program. So working one-to-one with a coach, which is Kristi, and then also working as part of a coaching group, as part of the cohort as well. And then finally, okay, you're then part of our community as well. Okay, we have a private community, an amazing community called CC Pro, Conservation Careers Pro, and that is a global community of around 1,000 conservation professionals and aspiring professionals as well, with access to resources and events and so much more. And we'll show you what that looks like in a minute as well. Okay, so let's talk through each one of these three aspects of the program so you can kind of see how it fits together. Okay, and can really help to kind of support your well-being, clarity, and direction. Okay. First up is the accelerator. Okay, so this is like the online self-paced course aspect to it. Okay, which is looking to kind of support you to work through some kind of really key topics that are important and recurring that we see across mid-career conservation professionals. This was developed off the back of 7 years of teaching at the University of Cambridge in their Masters in Conservation Leadership, where they have around 10 to 15 different students, mid-career conservation professionals from all over the world. So there's 15 students from 15 countries, all mid-career amazing conservation professionals. And every year we go in and we deliver 3 career planning sessions for them. And having done that for 7 years, it's like, well, this could be really tailored into a course that can support and design anyone's needs at the mid-career. Within the accelerator, there are 17 different units, as you can see here. Okay, so we have, yeah, I'm not going to read them all out, but we help you to figure out, how can you find and unlock more career fulfillment really quickly? How can you increase your impact really quickly and easily? What tactics and strategies can we help you with that? What does your timeline of your career look like? What have you learned from your career to date? What do you want to do more and less of? And so forth. What we do is you enter the program, is you work one-to-one, okay, with Kristi as the coach, and she helps you to identify like what is the core goal or goals that you'd like to achieve across the 6 months. Based upon that, we take the syllabus from the accelerator and really kind of tailor it to exactly what you should focus on. Which of these 17 modules should you really work on specifically? You can work on all 17 if you wish, okay? But really important for your goal, you should work on these 5, 6, or 7 different modules, okay? Because it's really going to help move the needle specifically to what it is you're looking to tackle. Okay, so that's the accelerator. Okay, it's self-paced. You work at your own pace. We give you the syllabus that suits exactly to your goals. The second and really important aspect to this is coaching. But before we dive into that, let's just talk a little bit briefly about what coaching actually is.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I feel like coaching is one of those terms that has about 50 different definitions floating
Yeah.
around there, and it gets used for everything from, the kind of coaching we're talking about here to like sports coaching, and everything in between. So I would be really curious to know if anyone on this call has experienced coaching before. So feel free to type in the chat if you have had experience of coaching and what that was. But the International Coaching Federation defines it as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. So that's kind of the official definition of coaching. And you might think of it like a journey to discover your full potential, again, personally and professionally, with the support of a coach who helps you discover your own solutions, and often the answers that you already have, sort of unlocking that wisdom you already have about what's best for you, but also opening up to other ideas, perspectives, possibilities that you may never have imagined before. So that's a little background to coaching. And there's some different reasons why. Yeah, I can see Laura, you've just popped in the chat here.
Help Laura to find her current role, and it helps her to
Oh,
understand
neat.
what's important to her and for her next career move.
Yeah,
Really
yeah.
interesting.
Which leads really well actually into the next, I think the next slide that we're going to talk about,
Mm,
which is like signs you could benefit from coaching. And this isn't like an extensive list, that coaching can support a lot of things.
mm.
But coaching can be really powerful if you're feeling stuck. Like if you feel like there's somewhere you want to go, or you want to move forward, or you want to make a change, but you're kind of feeling stuck in one place, almost like you're spinning your wheels. So coaching can often help you get unstuck, and clear about where you're going, and on track moving forward. Um, we use coaching a lot, obviously, with people who are pursuing a dream. Usually that dream is in conservation. So, you have perhaps an idea, or you're looking to get back in touch with something that's really important to you, but need kind of the confidence and clarity and strategy to make it a reality, and kind of step into more of your potential. It's definitely relevant when you're going through a transition. And that might be, a career transition. It could be something else. Could be a transition, geographically in the world, where you're going to be working or based. But when you're going through that kind of a transition, it's usually pretty overwhelming and confronting for most people. And so coaching is a way to kind of embrace that transition with a bit more confidence, a bit more clarity, a bit more sense of purpose to guide you through it. Confidence, I think that shows up a lot in probably everywhere, but especially in conservation. Feeling a bit like an imposter in a sector that feels like it's full of incredibly gifted people, and looking at job descriptions with long lists of requirements and competing for jobs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so if you're feeling like you're unsure, or you're hesitant, or you're not quite believing in yourself, coaching is a great space to kind of rediscover what you're capable of, and build some of that self-belief so you can face new challenges, and grow. And also balance. I mean, this program, one of the core parts of this program is well-being. So coaching is pretty relevant if you're looking to create a balance, between personal, professional life, work, and it's a way to bring your career and your life in line with your priorities and what's important for you. Yeah. So we wanted to share these just as examples of places where coaching can support you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In this program, how it works is we have 3 one-to-one, so personal coaching sessions, 3 1-hour sessions. These are obviously confidential, quite in-depth sessions, focused on you and your goals, and unlocking more clarity and taking action towards your goals. So that's with me. And then we have 3 group coaching sessions, also spaced across the 6 months, that are an hour and a half long, so a little bit longer. And that's kind of like this peer support group coaching, where we will usually work through an activity. But I think a lot of the value also comes in discussions with other people who are going through and facing similar or slightly different challenges, and getting the support from those people in that group to navigate your own challenges and goals. Yeah, like Nick said, the coaching is kind of there to support alongside the accelerator course that you're working through, or the parts of that course you're working through. And yeah, maybe it's important to know too that coaching is not a fix. We're not here to just get you the job, or just fix a relationship, issue that's coming up at work, or get you through a transition. Coaching is about setting you up with skills and tools and ways of thinking and being that you can use for your entire career, and in fact your life. So it's not sort of like 6 months and you're done. It's 6 months of setting you up for success beyond that, is kind of how we view it.
Yeah.
Um,
I love that. Yeah.
yeah.
Someone's described me as coaching is like creating space for you to have a bit of an aha moment, and to have, yeah, a bit of a change and some clarity. And if you feel like your mind is spaghetti, it can really help to kind of straighten those strings out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I love that both of those analogies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
No, I was going to say the final piece of the puzzle, isn't it? We've got the accelerator training, you've got the coaching, one-to-one and group, and the final piece is maybe I'll run through it is the community as well. Yeah, so you would be part of the CC Pro community, which is our private peer-to-peer support community. Myself, Kristi, and other experts in residence from the CC team are all in there and there to support you. And in there, there's a lot going on. So we've got lots of regular events. We do question and answers on a kind of bi-weekly, monthly level. We do live trainings like this. We have meetups. We also have coaching within this as well. We have coaching corner and wellbeing support. Okay, where we're regularly encouraging and posting questions and thoughts and sharing and supporting one another through that. Networking, there's nearly a thousand members in there, which you can directly direct message or group message, plus gain access to loads of trainings. Okay, and we have a back catalogue of trainings in there, which will help you through resources around applications and way more. I could talk for an hour about that and I won't. Okay, but there's a lots more going in there. Okay, so what difference does the program make? And then we can wrap up and tell you how you can join and answer any questions you might have. Okay, so as in terms of how we've measured the impact of the program, what we've done is as people enter the program, you do a benchmark survey, a really quick survey where we ask you, 0 to 10, where are you across lots of different aspects of your career? And then as you come out at the end, we ask you to do the same survey again, essentially. Okay, and we've done that with every cohort so far. And just showing you here on screen, the light green is at the beginning and the darker green is at the end. And these are average scores, okay, across all the people that we've had through the program. Okay, and you can sort of see we're seeing impacts across all scores that we measure. Okay, and really big impacts you can see around well-being. The average person who's coming in a 3 out of 10, they're leaving a 7.5 out of 10. So just to kind of give you a little bit of a flavor as to what's there. More high level than that, you can sort of see on here on screen, I'm particularly proud, 100% of the people that have been through the program so far would recommend it to others. Everyone has enjoyed and got lots out of the program, and 83% rated it as excellent. I can't ask for much more than that. That's wonderful. People see an average of an improvement of 86% of their well-being, 48% of career direction, and 39% of personal impact. So big movements across all the kind of key scores that we're interested in. Now, you might be just coming in with one goal in mind, okay, and that's the needle we're looking to move for you personally, but these are averages across everyone, okay, and we're seeing movements across everyone. In terms of what people have said about the program, you can see some things on screen there. I won't read them out. You can read them yourself. But yeah, people have said some nice things. And I think one of the quotes that stands out for me was we have wrap-up meetings at the end to see, how people have got on, what they want to share more generally as well, and if there's any messages they'd like to share to others like you. And someone wrapped it up in a very short sentence, which is they've refound their career mojo. And I thought that really sums it up for me. Yeah, people can feel just a bit lost and a bit low, and we can re-energize and launch you back in your career, as to where you want to be going with more motivation, clarity, and confidence than ever before. We want you to thrive. Wildlife needs you, and it needs us, so we really want to kind of dial up your mojo as much as possible. Yeah. Kristi, we have a cohort going at the moment, don't we? We have six
Mhm.
people currently going through the program. They'll soon be wrapping up actually as this next cohort is about to start. Is there any
Yeah.
reflections you want to share from that cohort? Everything is
Mhm.
confidential within it, but any
Yeah.
general sharings you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. So we're wrapping up this will be our final month, end of
Mm,
September with the current cohort. Um, and it's really unique to each person that comes into the program, like we've said, but we've had people come into this feeling low on confidence and self-belief and quite sort of um, overwhelmed or without the energy to manage all the things they're doing, just like really drained and are building this sense of confidence and self-belief and energy again, like that energy, like the mojo, the
mm,
energy, momentum to move forward, feeling really good about it. Um, we've had, yeah, we've had some people in this program who have kind of used the program to tackle big decisions,
mhm,
like what job to take, what of many sort of different roles to keep or drop, let go of, what to prioritize. Um, we've had people who are looking at, how can they better balance and honor family values alongside their career goals, without
Mm,
having to sacrifice either of those. Um, and yeah, people who are looking to, they've been building more a sense of, I guess, like peace and joy in their career as opposed to stress and work. Like actually just making the experience of their career and their career journey better.
nice, nice, isn't it? Yeah. I remember in an earlier cohort, we had two people who went for promotions that would never have gone for them previously, and they both got them.
Mhm.
We had a lady who decided to go more part-time. So she was 5 days, she dropped to, I think it was 4 or 3 days, and bought a horse. And that's what she wanted to do. And
I
she was
love
so much
that.
happier in her career as a result. All sorts. It's, yeah,
Yeah.
so interesting. Right, I'm just conscious of time. So we're wrapping up. We've got 2 slides left, okay, and then we're handing over to any questions you guys might have at your end. So uh, is it right for you? Okay, so what are we looking for? Who are we looking for? We're looking for early to mid-career conservation professionals, so ideally sort of 5 years plus experience. That's not a hard and fast rule. We do support people who are, for instance, towards the end of their PhDs. So if you've been studying for several years, I think we can include that as part of your kind of professional early career. Okay. We're looking, as you've already heard lots now, we're looking for people to support people who want more clarity, confidence, impact, or another sort of related goal to help sort of dial up that mojo. Okay. And as part of that, we'll provide you this structured support and direction as part of the program with the accelerated training, with the coaching one-to-one and group. Okay. And with the group peer support as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do the next steps look like? Well, in terms of like the details of applications and the investment and cost and things like that. So the applications are currently open now until Friday, the 26th of September. So they've still got until 2 weeks this Friday to apply. So what's that? Nearly 2.5 weeks to go. So still plenty of time. We currently have, I think, 7 places left on the program. We've filled some spaces already, but there's still places for others. So if you're interested, do get in touch and let us know. The investment is £1,450 per person. Okay, and that is plus VAT if you're in the UK or European Economic Area. Okay, and we do group discounts. So if you're part of a group from an organization, you and others want to apply, if there's 3 or 5 staff, we can apply the discounts that you can see there. And if there's 6 or more of you as well, we can create a private cohort too. Okay, 6 is the sort of minimum cohort that we look to support, and that's a kind of nice sweet spot as well for groups when we're working together with you. Okay, and I think that's it really. I will drop the link in here that you can see into the chat, and obviously we'll email it to you as well, so it'll be in your inboxes. But now is probably a good time for us to kind of stop presenting mode, okay, and go over to you guys for any questions you might have. So if you have questions as I'm dropping this in here,